Well, fishers, we've got some pretty respectable reports flowing in at the moment. Now, traditionally, December seems to slow down a little bit, probably because everybody's partying and they're not out getting stuck into the fishing as they would normally do so. But the conditions are just perfect, and there's fishermen out there everywhere at the moment. Really, really happy with it. Maso tells me that Dartmouth's fishing really well at the moment. Trolling with a forward fender, with a lure behind, and also with a little bit of weight in front of the fender to get it down deeper. The lures they're using, believe it or not, is a frog pattern Tassie Devil, which is unusual to put behind a forward fender because they're both different speed lures, but it seems to be working quite nicely. So yeah, Dartmouth's on the go. Mid River and some of the other Victorian streams are high, but they're fishing better than they have been all season, so we're really excited about that. Not too sure why. The biggest trout out of the Mid River this week was a 6-pound brownie, so that was really good, but mind you, they're not all that big. There's a lot of smaller fish coming out of it. Very pleased with it at the moment, so a lot better than it has been over the last few weeks. Hume Weir, that's where it's starting to kick into gear a fair bit. Now normally by this time of year the yellows sort of slowed right down, but this year they haven't. Getting some good yellow belly out of there. Most of these yellows are getting caught on the troll, but some of the real keen fishers are getting plenty on yabbies at the moment, so it's looking promising. And what we're real excited about is the redfin are starting. Now this is a real bonus for us. We've been waiting for it for, believe it or not, 2.5 years, and we're hearing some consistent catches down there at the moment. 20, 30, 40 fish in the session isn't uncommon, and occasionally up to about 3.5 pound. A lot of smaller ones amongst them, but there's plenty to get a feed now. Small yabbies are doing the job nicely, but ice jigs are definitely doing the job as well, and little blades. So we're getting back into our redfin scenario. Very excited about that. And believe it or not, I've got a few reports from Wagga that have started to pick up. We're getting a few cod out of there, looking real promising at the moment. It's been dead for a long time. I mean, we had a few hits and misses up there, down there over the last year or so, but at the moment it seems to be getting a lot more consistent. So, some good legal sized fish on the troll. Happy days. Well, of course, the Murrumbidgee River is firing. It always is, well, almost always is. Running reasonably high, looking a treat at the moment. Plenty of fish getting caught. Really, really happy with it. Trolling, casting, bait fishing, doesn't seem to matter. Downstream from Wagga seems to be a little bit better than upstream, but it's starting to move really well upstream at the moment. So a lot of happy fishermen there. Old Man Creek, there's a few fish coming out of the creek, but it is low and it doesn't look as good as I'd like. So we'll just cross our fingers and hope that improves over the next couple of weeks. Blowering Dam slowed down a bit. It's not as consistent, so you're going to have to work pretty hard up there. But don't forget, we're dropping off the moon phase now, and that's pretty typical of blowering. So the next moon phase coming up should be very good. We'll cross our fingers, weather allowing, it'll be fantastic up there. But a little bit of excitement there too. A few redfins starting to show up at blowering, so we've got our fingers crossed on this one. And guess what? The reddies have started up at Sioux City and Intel Bingo. Some catches of 20 to 30 to 40 up there as well. Little ice jigs or worms or yabbies, doesn't seem to matter. Ice jigs seem to be kicking into gear big time, and some very good redfin coming out of these areas. Burrinjuck Dam, still a hot spot around here. Very consistent, a lot of cod, a lot of yellows, and a lot of redfin. So we're back into our normal fishing mode at the moment, and everything's happening. Hopefully it'll go right through the holiday times and over Christmas, and all the kids will get a chance to catch plenty as well. Still getting good reports from Burrendong and places like that, Windermere. They're not too bad at all, although Burrendong has slowed down a little bit over the last week or so. Windermere is still pretty good on the yellows. And if you're heading down the south coast as we speak at the moment, a lot of the estuaries are really hard to fish at the moment because they're high, they're dirty, since they've had all that rain. But it won't be long before they clear up, so it looks real promising. So as you can see, we've got a lot of activity around us, and we've got holiday time coming up, so you can't ask for much more than that. This is the Compleat Anglers Fishing Report for this week. We'll catch you next week.